Why are we time and again falling to traps set up by bank fraudsters and scammers? Because we don't listen, we don't pay heed to the numerous warning emails and messages sent by banks and regulatory bodies. Today, in this video, let us see how these fraudsters work, how they operate, and let us try to stop them. First, let us go through the different types of scams and frauds being carried out in the world at this time. First, we come to phishing. I know most of you are aware of this term, but I'm covering it briefly in the beginning because all types of cyber threats actually boils down to phishing at the end. Let me ask you a question. Do you give your house keys or locker keys to strangers? You don't, right? Then why give away these keys? When a scammer or a fraudster asks for these details, card details for example, why do you give out the card number, expiry date, CVV, and card grid values? Why do you give the confidential information like one time password, the personal identification number, or the password to your internet banking? Why? Personal information in the form of date of birth, account number, permanent account number for tax or social security number, or any other regulatory or government provided ID numbers. The combination of this can actually provide the scammers or fraudsters entire access to your accounts. I just summarized phishing. Now let us look at the individual frauds. First, let's see lottery fraud. The modus operandi for this particular type of scam is when an unknown caller calls and informs about winning a lottery when you have not even purchased the ticket. And they ask for part of the money of the lottery amount which you have won. It's a total scam. Next, we come to job related frauds. The modus operandi of this type of scam is when you receive an unprofessional mail with unclear job descriptions. You are required to make a payment against a job being offered. And they offer even a fake offer letter to extort more money. Next, we come to card expiry fraud. In this case, the fraudsters pretend to be employees of the bank and they request personal details or ask the client to click on verification links to renew cards. Sometimes they get expired cards and they can play around with those numbers. So it's better to destroy the card once the card is expired. A shadow from the past, frauds related to electricity connections. In this case, the modus operandi is basically creation of fake bills or someone calls to and makes a threat to disconnect unless and until you make a particular payment right at that moment. Number 6 is extortion fraud. In this case, the modus operandi is where the scamster actually demands money transfer immediately. He says that to avoid arrest or to settle matters in the court, the person has to pay this much of money. In some cases, this also leads to blackmail. Next, we come to parcel or courier fraud, which is slightly a new type of fraud which has been started. In this case, the modus operandi is where the callers claim to be officials, customs officials, and say that they have received some parcels or containers which has illegal contents. Now, to get this matter resolved or free the receiver of the call from imprisonment or criminal charges, they have to shell out money. And sometimes they ask for installation of remote observation apps to provide proof of authenticity. The different types of scams coming up every year is not restricted to these only. This year, with the advancement of technology and AI, more and more different types of scams are coming up, especially where AI driven voice cloning is a huge problem. Now, let us see some more of these frauds. For example, the app download phone scam. We will start with that. In this case, the phone call comes from the scammer. They pretend to be law enforcement officials, stating that there's a legal case against you, and they direct you to download an app. Now, obviously, this app is a malware, but there is a catch to it. In this case, they actually ask you to type a case number and it will return a result with legal documents and names and other details filled in. Obviously, the documents look legal and look original with the names and addresses filled in. The app ends up stealing the account details by phishing, or if you have that bank app installed in your machine. This malware also has a strange effect. It will block all incoming calls and texts so that even if the bank tries to contact you about the fraud, they will not be able to do that. This particular scam is mainly applicable for Android phones and not for iPhones. Next, we come to deepfake celebrity endorsement scams due to AI. It looks like the deepfake celebrity is actually endorsing products, which are scams, and the video ads as well. The celebrities include Taylor Swift, Gordon Ramsay, or Selena Gomez. In the middle of these ads, they are actually typical false giveaways that say, oh, go to this link and get a free thing. And then when you put in your credit card info, they either steal your money or credit card or account details. The voiceovers actually sound exactly like the celebrity, but these short videos look quite fake. Now we come to physical mail scams. These seem to have come back. In this case, people who own domains are getting targeted with mails stating that he or she has to pay some registration fee or it will be withdrawn. It's obviously fake and hoping that some people will fall for the trap. This is best avoided by doing correct domain privacy settings. This is a new one, the exam scams, which are mainly happening in the US. In this case, the scammers call the parents of a student and basically say that this particular student has enrolled for this particular exam and they have to pay a registration fee, and by this they get some money from some gullible people. Have you heard the word deetsing? Deetsing is one of the fastest growing crimes committed mainly by teenagers under the age of 21 in the UK. The teenagers get wrongful access to dark websites, buying account details online, and steal credit card details, through which they acquire other details as well, and then they siphon of money. One of the characteristics of this type of scam is that the target segment is only the very rich people. These teenagers mainly use these details, the card details, for example, to make online purchases. Next, we come to skimming, card skimming. Skimming occurs when devices illegally installed on or inside ATM, POS terminals, or fuel pumps capture card data and record cardholders' card details. They then take it back and reproduce similar cards or use the data to commit cyber frauds. So, after going through this video, I hope you'll be somewhat more prepared to know what to look out for and be extremely vigilant. I suggest that you stick to the fundamental rules that never share your bank account details or credentials such as CVV or PIN or password. Never reply to emails, SMSs or calls without verifying basically the caller or the sender. Avoid clicking on links which are unknown to you from unknown sources. And also change your password regularly and make your passwords very complex. I hope you find this video informative and helpful. If you do so, kindly subscribe to the channel and like and share. See you soon in the next video.